Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And, folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
Read Blood Horse Magazine.
Cuban B.
I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. This is typically where I say joining me as always, the sniper, Mr. Barry Spears. He couldn't make it this morning, had a little family emergency he had to take care of. He's actually going to be gone most of Breeders' Cup week, so we're going to do a lot of cool things, like have my current guest, the person, I get confused as to which way these are, but on screen to the right of me, our pedigree expert, Miss Jessica Tugwell Singleton.
Can I make my phone call? Do I have rights? Can I make my phone call?
Who you gonna call?
Huh?
Who you gonna call?
Yo, mama.
That's right. It's fitting because she's our pedigree expert. Jessica, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Chase. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to have you here. If for no other reason, well, for plenty of reasons, but if for no other reason, the fact that Barry's gone and I need that like security blanket of another person talking to me. No one wants to see me ramble for roughly 10 minutes. How's your Breeders' Cup week going so far?
Just started, but been good. I've only looked at Friday because I wanted to make sure that I was had at least a working knowledge of what was going on here for this show. But basically been working on that, been getting ready for the November sales, because Breeders' Cup week to me means that the breeding stock sales are on the horizon.
There we go. Well, we got Junior Mafia popping off in the chat. Our good friend Uncle Soli says this class level of this show with a major upgrade with Jessica Tugwell. So we know we've got at least one fan out there for sure. Question for you. How do you actually prepare for like the November sales and things like that?
Mostly it's starting to go through catalogs. For the Keeneland sale, there's over 1,000 horses cataloged. So taking a look at pedigrees there, just kind of skimming through to see, just kind of get a feel for what's going on until, people kind of direct me to what they need me to look at in particular. I still kind of want to take a look for myself at what's being offered.
It's something that you can really just dig into with these pedigrees. It's one of the reasons I love DRF formulators so quick. I get so excited when I find like a baller half sib for a horse or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad we have your expertise though, because I do not have it when it comes to pedigree. But guys, it's Monday. It's the Monday before the Breeders' Cup. And on the Monday of any big racing week, we invite our resident pedigree expert here at the Notorious OTB. So Jessica Tugwell, and I got to say, it's Singleton. Congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
We got her here. We've got some questions about pedigree and horses you should keep your eye on for Breeders' Cup Future Stars Friday. That's right. We're talking this Breeders' Cup Friday at Del Mar on Halloween, the 31st of October, year of our Lord, 2025. And my first question for Jessica, I'm teasing something for later and managed to say the wrong name. My first question for Jessica is, there are always some hot sires that kind of develop every single year. Give me like 3 sires that I should be keeping an eye on for BC weekend and BC Friday specifically?
Well, not this time is, one of the leading sires in the country is the second leading sire in the country right now, only behind Into Mischief. And he has 7 horses pre-entered on the Breeders' Cup Friday card, which, according to my math, is the most of any stallion. So that's definitely one to look for. He has been having a stellar year. He was already a leading sire, but this has kind of been like a breakout year for him. He's had an insane Keeneland meet this year and plenty of other stars. So I think that your number one to look out for is probably Not This Time. And
So not this time. What line does Not That This Time come out of?
So he's a son of Giant's Causeway, which is ultimately the Stormcat sire line, which is a couple generations, the same sire line as Into Mischief, who is your perennial leading sire at this point, but kind of not super highly represented in this year's Breeders' Cup. He's got Ned Toffee and he has who's the other Spendthrift filly? Tommy Joe.
Tommy
As
Joe.
direct descendants, and then he has a couple of sons with offspring on the card. Maximus Mischief has one, and I think authentic, not audible. Authentic has one or two. But so you always got to look out for Into Mischief. But this year kind of seems like it's not this time's year to kind of try and make a bid for that top spot.
Carry the mantle for his papa in this one. All right, who else? Where some of the other ones you're looking at?
Wutan Bassett, who's a stallion that viewers might not be quite as familiar with, since he stands in stood. He actually passed away earlier this year, but one of the leading sires in Europe, stood for 200,000 pounds last year, 150,000 in 2023. So he's been a really great stallion over there, and has four of them, I believe. Yeah, 4 pre-entries in the Breeders' Cup this year on the turf races.
Yeah, I'm so weak with my European pedigree lines that, like, I know the name Wooten Bassett. I feel like I see the name fairly regularly in big priced races, but that's Wooten Bassett. Who else do you have?
And then as another one who's not necessarily like a top stallion or anything, but a stallion that has an entry in the, oh my goodness, who's she in? She the Juvenile Fillies? I wrote it down.
By the way, while Jessica's looking that up, I just want to point out that she's doing the Lord's work here, because I got in from Wyoming last night. I still have not had a chance to dig through the pre-entry, so I appreciate you looking up the races for me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Lenny Liu, who is 4 for 5 lifetime, is by first crop stallion in Leinster, who I was surprised to see with a quality horse like this. Not shocked, but he's a stallion who stands for $2,500 in Florida. This is his first crop, so it was kind of surprising to see that. Oh, this guy's got it. And he was a turf sprinter. Won the Troy, won the Shakertown, third in the Breeders' Cup turf sprint back in the day, and he's been off to a decent little start at stud. He only has 19 starters. Only 5 of them have won so far, but in addition to Lenny Liu, he has 2 black type place runners from those first 19. So a stallion to kind of keep your eye on. There have been some really good stallions to start their careers in Florida, horses like Gervin and Bucaro. So I thought Leinster was worth giving a little shout out here.
I'll tell you what, I got to meet my friend Gervin at Airdrie Stud back in May, because he was a horse that when he won the Haskell, he actually cashed a huge pick 4 for me. So I've got much love for Gervin and Gervin babies. Shout out to Josh Rodriguez, who gives me shit every time I talk about Gervin babies. So you mentioned 3 sires. What's interesting to me is there were some names that I expected to kind of pop up in that didn't show, and I'm interested to get your take on that, because it seemed like Vekoma babies were winning everything that hasn't been nailed down in their 2-year-old year. Does really have much here, or is he just like a bulk deal where he's going to win his horses are going to win a bunch of races, but then it might not necessarily be the top ones?
He's got one in the Juvie turf. Who is that? He has Bottas in the juvenile turf, winner of the Pilgrim this year. Yeah. So he's 2 for 2. He's actually, that one's a half to y'all might remember the stakes winner Parenting, who I think is a Baffert horse out west, but that one's a half to Parenting, who's looked, done nothing wrong, 2 for 2 so far, won the Pilgrim by a head last time out. But that's the only one that Vekoma has. But I do think you kind of are onto something with, I think Vekoma has yet to get that like one big horse, but he has so many good horses and they win just about everything. So I think it's just a matter of time before he gets that breakout superstar quality horse. And I mean, that's not to say that he doesn't have, really good runners, but I think it really is kind of more of a quantity thing. Not that it's not a quality thing, but there's a lot of them.
For sure. I want to say Authentic was the other name that I remember hearing most of the time, which you kind of touched on that name a little bit. Do we know if Authentic has anybody going?
Yeah, he has one in the juvenile fillies. Who does he have in there? He is the sire of Iron Orchard, the Frazette winner last time out.
So horses who have had just solid first crops, they're winning races, but not necessarily the big ones. That's a good that's a good tidbit. I feel like a good tidbit, and especially going forward. What I love so much about having you on, we talk about these horses and we talk about like who has a chance to like mature into something better and everything like that. So the next question for you, I always love digging through formulator, going through going through bloodlines to try to find winning half sibs. Do you have any horses that have just like notable half siblings who are a real championship pedigree that might be making a start on Friday?
Yeah, there's quite a few, and I'm going to start with the ones that are US linked here. I've got 3 of them for you that are pretty noteworthy. We've got 2 half siblings, or a half sibling and a full sibling to grade 1 winners. Here's Johnny, is a full brother to grade 1 winner World Beater. And then Infinite Sky, who is in the juvenile fillies, I believe. Or is she in the turf? She's in the turf because she's a half to wet paint. The grade 1 winner. Let me double check that is the race she's in. Yeah, the turf. And then Time to Dream is a half to Red Carpet Ready. And Time to Dream, don't remember which race she is. And I think it's she. Also in the juvenile fillies turf. Was last seen finishing 3rd in the Jessamine. And she's one of the not this times on the card.
Nice. Anybody else with a big half sibling that we should be aware of?
Yeah, when you're looking at kind of the European pedigrees, that's when you're getting quite a few with some hefty shoes to fill. In the juvenile turf, you have Gstad, who is a half to the multiple grade 1 winning 2-year-old Van Dijk. And then you also is that same race? Let me double check. I gotta flip through. I do everything on paper, which
no worries at all.
Better for my brain because I like to write things down, but does mean I do a lot of flipping through and where did I write that down? Wild Desert, also in the juvenile turf. It's a half to 2 multiple grade 1 winning 2-year-olds. His Damn Winter's Moon also produced Shadow of Light and Earthlight, who are both 2-time grade 1 winners at 2. He is a head away from being a grade 1 winner at 2. So I think he's one that you definitely have to keep an eye out for.
Nice. Well, with the Breeders' Cup weekend, especially Breeders' Cup Friday, the knowing more information about these horses that are shipping in from Europe can sometimes be the difference between like a life-changing score and bupkis. And so what I want, because I need people to demystify some of these European horses for me. Do you have like let's say 3 European horses that might have kind of sneaky under the radar pedigree? You've mentioned a few, but I'm wondering if there are any sneaky ones in there we should be aware of.
Yeah, the 2 I mentioned aren't really sneaky, but they're definitely up there. And one that's a little more sneaky would be Beautify, who's a Wooten Bassett out of the mare Words. And she's going to be stretching out to a mile for the first time, which is always, a bit of a question mark. She was 2nd in a 7 furlong race, but she's a half sister to a stakes winner named Library, who won stake at 10 furlongs. So if you're kind of looking at Beautify and kind of like, I don't know, it's a Coolmore homebred, so there's a lot of pedigree there, but is she going to get the distance? I think that she's one that you can safely assume will stretch out to the mile without too much trouble.
Nice. I like the stretch out. So just a general question about the Euro pedigrees. Are you having to go to completely different resources to find that stuff?
Yes. Yeah, that's do a lot of different sites in my Google searches and things in my repertoire. But yeah, the European horses, do require me to kind of look at some different sources. Usually I just go to Blood Horse Stallion Register.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what it is with these Euro horses. I combined with like how they the tracks that they run on, that no one owns a stopwatch apparently east of the in the Eastern Hemisphere. So I do enjoy having folks like you on to help kind of shed some light on it. And real quick, speaking of future shows and Future Stars Friday, or just BC weekend and Euro horses, Malcolm Bamford's going to be joining us tomorrow to give us his all the way from Newcastle to give his Euro horse picks that I focus on. I need a team of people, Jessica, to demystify European shippers for me. All right. Well, that was all my questions. We managed to hit it. We've given you 3 sires to keep an eye on for Breeders' Cup weekend, horses with notable half siblings. We've talked Euro horses with a sneaky good pedigree. I know I'm going to be looking for Wooten Bassett horses now and forevermore. Now that you've told me it's a good bloodline. That's it really interesting me. I'm going to go back to it, but it's really interesting to me that Into Mischief just doesn't have kind of the same juice as it has in previous years. I remember Rig Carruthers telling me it's from like a specific like S-1 or something family line, which I'm not smart enough to remember.
Yeah, he's family 23B, tracing to Paladin.
Okay. Yeah,
which is the same family, like horses like Smart Striker 23B. There's a lot of them.
There we go. Well, Jessica, is there anything that you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Nothing in particular. If you enjoy pedigree talk like this, you can check out my blog at hawkstonebloodstock.substack.com. If you're in the market to breed or buy a horse, I do pedigree analysis for both of those things. Like I said, I'm working on looking at the November sales now, and this is also the time of year that we're planning for the 2026 breeding season. So if you're looking for a take on who to send your mares to, I do in-depth pedigree analysis and stallion suggestion reports for breeders.
Well, that's awesome. And she's a gold mine of information. So you are in the market for a horse. Maybe you're heading to auction for the first time. Make sure you check out Jessica's blog, and she's good with all this bloodstock stuff. Way better than I am. I imagine that you have to go through like volumes of like dusty leather-bound books to get this information, even though I'm sure it's all on the internet. Yeah, just like very like Harry Potter kind of books. And that book might actually talk to you or draw what you're doing at that moment. All right, well, folks, that's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB. It's going to be a fantastic Breeders' Cup week. Like I mentioned, we got Mal Bamford joining us tomorrow to talk European horses. Special time. We're going to be doing that at 12 Eastern, 11 God's time. And then the rest of the week, I'm spilling here from Talking Horses and from America's Day at the Races fame. We've got Sarah El Badwi joining us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We had to give a heavy hitter because Barry's going to be at the Breeders' Cup itself. So she's going to be giving out plays with a $100 budget for BC Friday. For BC Saturday, we'll have BC Friday and Saturday best bets on our Friday show. So check that out. Jessica, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad we got our connectivity issues with StreamYard fixed, because I would have felt like a real jackass if we had to cancel. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Let me find a good clip to write out on, and we will get out of here. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
I was steep raised. You think I'm scared to catch a case? What's the